Hey loves, you're welcome back to my channel today. My name is Mimi, and if you're stopping for the first time, you're highly welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to go about drafting your corset without the use of already made cup. So it actually means that in this video, you'll be learning how to draft your own cup from the scratch. So if this is something you're interested in, please keep on watching and let's get started.
Alright, so the first thing I went ahead to do was to draft out my basic bodies. So go ahead and draft out your own basic bodies. So after that, another thing I went ahead to do was to take my nipple to nipple measurement. For me, I took 3.5 on my chest line, my bust line, my under bust, and down to my waistline. So after I was done making those points, I also went ahead to mark a straight line using my rule. So after I was done, the next thing I was going to do was to take my tape, measure from my bust point down to my under bust. Whatever I have, I'll just go ahead and mark it round. For me, I have 3, so I'll just go ahead and make 3 points round using my dot. So this is me marking all around my patterns. So go ahead and mark yours from your bust point. So after I was done making all my dots, the next thing I went ahead to do was to come down my waistline and I came out by 0.5. Normally I am supposed to take 1. If you are busty, you're supposed to take 1, but for me, I am not that busty, so I decided to take 0.5 on this other side and this other side. So I will also go ahead to do the same thing on my busts, or my under bust rather. It came out by 0.5. So I will go ahead and connect the dots with my rule like this. So after I was done, the next thing I'm going to do, after I was done connecting my line, the next thing I'm going to do is to make a curve from my under bust to meet the lines at from my bust point rather, to meet the one at my under bust. This is what I mean, just like this. You can do this with a free hand. Go ahead and make a curve from your bust point line to meet the line at your under bust like this. So after I was done with that, I'll just go ahead and extend this line to meet my dotted lines, and then I'll also go ahead to do the same thing I did on my waistline at my chest line. So this is me. I came out here by 0.5, and I also do the same thing here, 0.5. So I'll also go ahead and connect it down to my bust point, just like this. So after I was done with this, the next thing I will go ahead to do is I will come here from my chest line. This is totally optional. You can decide to come down and you can decide to go up from your chest line. Depends on how much cleavage you're willing to expose. For me, I decided to maintain my chest line. So from my chest line, I came in by 0.5. This is going to be the distance between the two cups. So after After this, by the time you open it, you have 1 inch. So I'll just go ahead and connect that dot on my chest line to meet my under bust line. This is what I mean. Just go ahead and connect like this. Don't worry about the dotted lines. This is what the line will be using now. We're making use of this line now. So after I was done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and connect this from my chest line to meet this line. This is what I mean. Just go ahead and connect like this to meet this one. All right. So after I was done doing that, you can see at this other end we had some leftovers. So in order for us not to have shortage while sewing our cups, we'll go ahead and replace this shortage. So this is me marking 0.5 on this other side. So I'll just go ahead and connect down to meet the line at my under bust like this. And then after I was done connecting this line, I'll also go ahead to extend this line to meet my chest line. And then I'll also do the same thing I did at this other side. Go ahead and connect this line from here, just exactly the same thing you did at the other side. Connect from here to meet your chest line. This is what I mean. So go ahead and connect yours. So after I was done, our cup is basically ready. So this is what I have. The next thing I will go ahead to do is to take my body measurements. My bust divided by 4, I went ahead to mark. And then my under bust divided by 4, I also went ahead to mark. My waist divided by 4, I also went ahead to mark. Now, another thing is, a lot of persons are always confused in these body measurement. The next thing you're going to do is just take your tape, measure the dart you have on your waist area. For me, I have one, so I'll go ahead and replace that one, and I'll also add another 1.5 seam allowance. And then I'll also do the same thing for my under bust. For my dart, that's one, so I'll go ahead and replace it, and then my 1.5 seam allowance. I'll also go ahead and take my 1.5 seam allowance for my bust. And then after I'm done taking that, I'll just go ahead and connect my lines like this. So after I was done connecting my lines, for me, I don't like leaving it straight like this. What I do is I'll just go ahead and make a curve from this to this end. So this now becomes my new armhole. So I'll just go ahead and cut out like this. So after I was done cutting, I also went ahead to bring a new pattern, which is going to serve as our back pattern. So what I did was to place my front pattern on it, leaving 2 inches away for our zipper, and then I will also go ahead and make a point where my dart is going to be for the back pattern, and then after that I'll just go ahead and cut out my pattern like this. So instead of me to just cut my back straight, I decided to make a point at this zipper and also make a point at my armhole area, and then After this point, the next thing I went ahead to do was to make a curve. Rather than just cutting straight, I decided to make a curve like this. You can just decide to make yours straight, but for me, this is what I want. So I'll go ahead and cut out. So after I was done cutting, this is what I have. I'll also go ahead and extend my dart to meet the upper pattern like this. This is what I mean. Just go ahead and connect your dart. So after I was done, this is what I have, and this is basically all for the back. So I'll just do away with that and then bring my front and I'll go ahead and cut out the areas I need to. Please watch closely so you could see where I am doing my cutting exactly. So after I was done cutting, this is what I have. These are the patterns I'll be working with. So already I have added all the allowances I needed. The only thing I'll do is just when I'm cutting on my actual fabric, I'll just go ahead and add allowance, half-inch allowance on my cup. So this is all for the pattern drafting of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I also went ahead to label my cups so I'll not misplace them while sewing. So thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.